Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at every single Harry Potter minifigure released during 2020, along with the special minifigure from the set that has not yet come out. More on that at the end. So we're going to be starting with all of the students, then the staff, and some other magical members of the community. We're going to move on to the large-scale creatures, and then the smaller animals, and then I'll give you my final verdict. It's a huge year this year because we had a ton of sets, Diagon Alley, and then another CMF series on top of all of that. There's even more here than 2018, believe it or not. So we have a long video ahead of us. So without further ado, let's start off with Harry Potter. We're going to be looking at all of the first, second, and third year variants first. We have Harry Potter in his classic robes here from the polybag. We have him in his Escape from Privet Drive outfit. We have him in his Intro to Diagon Alley set. That was the exclusive minifigure that we had no idea was coming in that set. We also have him in his traditional robes from Diagon Alley. And then from the Hedwig set, we have him with his Gryffindor scarf and blue gloves. We also have a repeat minifigure of him in his Yule Ball robes from the Advent calendar this year. And then all of these variants are a little, basic, but they're with the tall legs now. We have him in his Gryffindor sweater, almost identical to this minifigure. We have two versions of him with his jacket, which is incredibly inaccurate, very much so dislike that. We have one version of him with his accurate jacket, which looks fantastic. And then we have two final versions, one with him in his Slug Club robes, and then one with him in his open Hogwarts uniform. And those are all the Harry Potter variants we have for 2020, and there are a ton of them. 12 full versions of Harry Potter here, marginally more than Hermione and Ron, who, funnily enough, both the same amount this year. All of these are really good, though. We get tons of, I'm in love with, the entire back row here, and then, these guys are great, this one's great. I mean, these ones are a little disappointing, but we have some really great characters, so let's move these to the back and take a look at Ron and Hermione next. Alright, up next, we're going to have Ron Weasley. We have two versions of him with short legs. We have him in his Diagon Alley robes. Then we have him in the Escape from Privet Drive clothing. We have another version of him in his Yule Ball clothes. Then we got three versions with tall legs, the first being casual clothes from the Burrow, casual clothes from when he was excluded from the Slug Club party, and then casual clothes from the CMF series. Some very great variants here. Actually, I love all of them. It's been a while since we got him in that shirt. I think he only came with that shirt print in the Hogwarts Express. The Yule Ball robes are nice to see again here, and all of these guys have some really great printing, although that shirt is the same as the Ron from 2019, but we have some really great versions here. Same number for Hermione, actually, although she came in some very different sets. We only have one short legs version of her. She's also in her Diagon Alley robes. We have Hermione in her Slug Club uniform. We have her in her casual clothes from the CMF series. We have her casual clothes from the Forbidden Forest set. We have her in her Yule Ball clothing from the Advent calendar. And then we've got her in her Hogwarts attire from the Room of Requirement set. Quite a lot of characters here. She has some really good variants, I think better than Ron, because all of these are exclusive prints. These two are not. However, for exclusive variants, I'll take it. And I'm really happy to get a bunch more Hermiones with some really great prints. All right, next we're going to be taking a look at students going from highest number to lowest number. So the next student with the most versions is going to be Draco Malfoy. There are four of him. We have one with small legs from Diagon Alley. We have him with his full-on robes from the Astronomy Tower set. We have him from the Student Accessory set. And then from the unreleased set, we have this version of Draco Malfoy. He has the wrong face print. He should have the same face print that these two characters have. That's from the Monster Book of Monsters promo. He just has his traditional Slytherin sweatshirt, mid-length legs, the same, slick back hairpiece, and then it looks like to be this face print. I didn't have an extra one of those, so I just used year one Draco's face print. But it's not an advanced figure by any means, but it will be a variant of Draco we will get eventually, so I figured I could include it here. We have two characters with three variants. Those are going to be Luna and Ginny. Ginny has a short legs version from the, the Diagon Alley set. We have a long legs version with the same hairpiece from the Burrow. And then we have her in her Slug Club attire from the CMF series. Luna has her Slug Club attire from the actual set, not the CMF series. We have her in her Gryffindor robes from the Room of Requirement set. And then we have her from the CMF series, this time with her lion headdress to cheer on the Gryffindor Quidditch team. Very good variants. I'm disappointed that this one came in the CMF series, not the actual set that all the other guys came in. And I really love these two variants of Luna. Ginny is very disappointing. I hate her facial print, and I don't like the fact that she uses the same facial print as Susan Bones from 2018, but I can get past it. Great figures. And now let's move on. Next, we're going to have four different figures, that have two variants each. We're going to start off with Neville. We have him from the CMF series. And then we have Waiter Neville from the Astronomy Tower set. We have two versions of Cho Chang from the Student's Accessory set, and then from the Advent Calendar. And then we have two versions of both Fred and George. I don't know which is which. They all look identical to me, and I think that's the point. We have the versions from year 4, and then we have them in their business outfits right there. Some really great variants, great characters there. Not sure how to tell them apart, but we have two versions of Fred and two versions of George. And now we have 4 characters who only have one variant each. These are the last 4 students. The first up is going to be Lavender Brown, Ron's crush. She came in the same set that all of the Slug Club party members did. We have Hannah Abbott, who I hate because she has Fleur Delacour's face. She came in the student accessory set, notably a very nice Hufflepuff torso right there. And then we have Parvati and Padma Patil, the twins with alternating colors. Very, very good figures, and I do like how they have different facial expressions right there. Those are all the Hogwarts students, however, so now let's get those out of the way and move on to the teaching staff. Compared to students, we have almost next to no teaching staff this year. There are no repeat figures. We only have one version of each. The first is going to be Albus Dumbledore in his Richard Harris appearance here, and it's the same version that we got in previous years. However, he's got an updated torso print, brand new hair hat combo, and then a dress instead of legs. Absolutely adore that. Probably one of my favorite figures from this entire year. Another great figure is Professor Sprout. We haven't gotten her since the final year of the last Harry Potter line. So this is the first time we ever gotten her in the reboot, and I'm so excited. She looks excellent here. Another great character we haven't gotten since 2002 is Gilderoy Lockhart. I love him from the Diagon Alley set. He's the best character, hands down. I'm so happy to finally get my hands on him. And then some other characters, we have another version of Umbridge, another version of Slughorn, and then another version of Hagrid right here. Nothing too stand out for those guys, but really the best of the bunch are going to be these 3 characters right here, especially these 2. All right, next up, we're going to have the Potter family. There are a bunch of minifigures here that didn't really fit in with any other category. We have James and Lily Potter right here, and they also came with a baby Harry piece. This is from the CMF series. So technically, I should have given this baby Harry piece to one of the Harry Potters when I was going over all of his variants, but I didn't, so they're going to go right there. Pretty good characters. We also got the Dursleys. We have Vernon, Petunia with an excellent torso print, and then Dudley also with a great torso print. Some really good characters, very standout variants, and I'm glad to finally be able to say I have the Dursleys in Lego form. We also have the Weasleys here. We have 2 versions of Molly and 1 version of Arthur. Here are the Mollys. We got them in the Burrow and the Diagon Alley set. We have a version of Arthur with some excellent torso printing. And next up, we're going to have some magical members of the community, starting with Kingsley Shacklebolt from the CMF series, Tonks from the Burrow set. We have Lucius Malfoy from Diagon Alley, and then also from Diagon Alley, we have Ollivander, we have Florian Fortescue, the ice cream parlor man, and the Daily Prophet photographer. Some great characters that don't quite fit in anywhere else, and first time appearance for Kingsley right here, so happy to have him. First appearance for Tonks, I wish he had pink hair. Some great versions of Lucius, and then some other really good figures, really great characters here. All right, we only have a couple more figures to go, and it looks like we're almost out of space. I'm hoping I have room to fit everyone. But we got some villains up next. We have a version of Lord Voldemort. This time it's Tom Riddle from the exclusive Harry Potter book that released. Very happy with that variant. He looks great. A very cool figure. We also have an updated version of Fenrir Greyback and 2 versions of Bellatrix. We have her in her Azkaban robes and her in her traditional robes from the Attack on the Burrow set. Very good figures, and those are all the villains we got this year. Next, we have some magical creatures, starting with Dobby the House Elf. We have Griphook the Goblin. Very good. I love his hair combo. Excuse me. Much better than the molded heads that had next to no detailing. We also have Moaning Myrtle from the CMF series. And then we have 2 centaurs who are identical. Very good figures, though. We'll put those right up front. And then we also have Grawp, Hagrid's half-brother giant. I'm going to stick him in the back here. Let's get these versions of Harry and Hermione out of the way. You can go right there. Fit it in the back and move those up here. And then finally, we have 3 more characters. We have 2 shop window dummies for the Quidditch robes for Hufflepuff and Ravenclaw from Diagon Alley. Put those over there. And our last character is going to be the dummy from the Room of Requirement that Ginny disintegrated. He's going to go right over here. And these are all of the characters from 2020. And like I told you, there are a ton. All right, everyone, and here are all of the minifigures from 2020 all lined up. As you can see, there are a ton of them. Absolutely massive lineup, guys. There are some really great characters here. This is the best year yet, hands down. But now that we've taken a look at all of the characters, let's move on to the big and large scale models. All right, everyone, and now that we've taken a look at all of the minifigures, it's time to take a look at the larger scale builds. Up first, we have two Brickheads. There was only one Brickhead set released during 2020. That was the Hagrid and Buckbeak dual pack. And this was the gift with purchase around the time that Diagon Alley released. You can't get it anymore, unfortunately. So you're gonna have to pay some pretty gnarly retail price, third-party prices, to get this. And there was also a large-scale Hedwig, the buildable Hedwig, which is a Barnes & Noble exclusive. This you can still get. And these were all of the large non-minifigure scale animals and creatures we got for this year. And there's just a couple of other small things, so let's get these out of the way and take a look at those. Up first, we have Hedwig. And now we had a ton of Hedwigs this year. We had 2, 4, 6 Hedwigs, all the exact same open wing spread mold. That mold was brand new for this year, and they really went for it, and they used a ton of them. It's a great piece. I'm really happy to get it, but there's still so many of them. We got 4 other owls. 3 of them were this traditional brown, and then 1 of them was this winking tan owl that also came in a Lego City set, and that was all the owls we got for this year. These Hedwigs came in pretty much every set. These guys came in Privet Drive, the Burrow, and Diagon Alley. And then other kinds of birds or flying creatures we have a micro-scale Pegasus from the Bobaxton's Carriage in the Advent Calendar, and we have the Phoenix Fox. Really great characters there. I love the molding for Fox. Then we also got a series of Mandrakes. We have 4 Mandrakes from the Hogwarts Castle set, and then 1 from the CMF series. We have a pig from the Burrow. We have 2 spiders, just the traditional black ones, nothing too special there. We also have 1 chocolate frog and Scabbers, or maybe it's not Scabbers, maybe it's just a rat, because it came in the Diagon Alley set, unnamed, so we're not quite sure. And then the next 3 characters aren't necessarily animals, but they still look like it, kind of. We have the Patronuses, the rabbit, and the otter, which are some great molded pieces, and I'm really looking forward to getting that otter in maybe traditional coloring like we did with the stag from the last year. And then the last kind of creature we have is the Monster Book of Monsters. Don't think it counts, but if it does, it's here. And if it does count, there's also the large-scale buildable Monster Book of Monsters that has not yet released. No word yet on when we're going to get that, but that would have gone in with the buildable Hedwig category. But these, with the Hedwig and the 2 Brickheads, are all of the non-minifigure characters that we get for 2020. It's a good selection. I don't think it's quite as expansive as 2018, but it's still some great characters. Fox obviously being the standout, some great new owls, some cool mandrakes. I love the Patronuses. But without further ado, let's clear all of these out of the way and go back to the final verdict. All right, now that we've taken a look at all of the animals, I think it's time for the final verdict. Now, this year is hands down the best yet. I've said that before, and I'll say it again. We have so many characters here who we've never gotten before, so many variants that we've never gotten, and just a sheer quantity. Like, look at this. Look how many characters we've gotten. I've never seen a theme with this many for a single year, especially when it's such like a niche thing like Harry Potter. I know a ton of people love it, and it's a great seller, but it's really not as popular as like Marvel or anything, and this is a huge number, especially when you look at all of the Harry Potter variants, almost as many as Iron Man, funnily enough. But we have some really great standouts here. We got like Kingsley, we got Lockhart, Sprout, we got some students that we've never gotten before, some like Moaning Myrtle. We've gotten a ton of just like Tom Riddle again. We've gotten some really great variants like Luna there. We've gotten Grop, we got Centaurs. And honestly, I couldn't have asked for a better lineup. This is going to be the last video in this series for now. I'll do a 2021 video next year around this time when all the sets for that year has come out. But for now, this is all of the Harry Potter minifigures from 2020. I'll be doing comparison videos on every Harry Potter, every Ron, every Hermione, every whatever you guys want to see. Compared, make sure to let me know. Tell me your favorite characters, and I'll be sure to do them. But this has been a massive project, and I'm really happy I was able to do this. And honestly, guys, buy as many of these sets as you possibly can. I can't recommend Diagon Alley more. I can't recommend anything from this theme more than I already have. It's really the best Lego theme that Lego has put out in such a long time. And the characters are excellent, the sets are excellent, the builds, the characters, everything is just to die for. I love Harry Potter, best Lego theme, the minifigure selection is perfect, and that's really all I have to say to you guys. So thank you so much for watching, thank you for sticking around, I'll see you in the very next video, and I want you all to have a fantastic day.